We always will on This Is Spiritual, and always have on Black America Against Human Trafficking. We condemn hypersexualization within the music industry, within the film industry, that shows our brothers, our sisters in such bad shape sexually, and it leads to human trafficking. All right, welcome back to This Is Spiritual. I'm your host, Darby X Judah. You can find me on social media using the tags Darby is King or Spaceman Darby. So of course, you know the house and groundkeeping rules. Be nice. Like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let other people worldwide know where they can find us as we continue to liberate our people. Today we'll be talking about 20 ways you can help fight human trafficking. This is coming from state.gov, the Office to Monitor and Combat Human Trafficking in Persons. And we'll jump right into it. Again, today we're talking about 20 ways that we as a community can stop feeling powerless and do something about our missing. So again, anyone can fight against human trafficking, as this website indicates. And I really like the 20 steps that they have here. We can continue to talk about human trafficking. If you don't know, we also manage a group. This is Spiritual does, the Black Honor Movement as well. We manage a group called Black America Against Human Trafficking on Facebook. If you join that group, go ahead and let us know where you found this message and how you decided to join. So let's jump right into it. So number one way to fight human trafficking is learn the indicators of human trafficking on the TIP office's website or by taking a training. Human trafficking awareness training is available for individuals, businesses, first responders, law enforcement, educators, federal employees, and others. Getting into tip number 2, if you're in the United States and believe that you may be a victim of human trafficking, then you should call the 24-hour National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or report an emergency to the law enforcement by calling 911. Trafficking victims, whether or not U.S. citizens, are eligible for services or immigration assistance. So that's something to keep in mind, even if you feel insecure about your citizenship here in the U.S. Also, we should be in conscious and informed consumer, right? So find out about who we may pick up our items such as fruit, clothes from. You can also go to responsiblesourcingtool.org or check out the Department of Labor's list of goods produced by child labor or forced labor to find out, who is participating, what businesses are participating in human trafficking, child labor, and forced labor. Also, you can encourage companies or even your own business to take steps in preventing human trafficking in their supply chains and publish the information, including suppliers and factory lists for consumer awareness. That's a third step that we can do. Again, find out who made this shirt. Did they make it through child labor? Did they make it through, forced labor? Moving on to tip number 4, volunteer and support anti-human trafficking efforts in your community. Again, our group is primarily based in Dallas, Texas, but I encourage you to join Black America Against Human Trafficking. That's a local effort. You can talk about what's going on in your community in our group, regardless of your skin color. You can be black and you can be an ally, but together we're going to fight human trafficking. Moving on to tip number 5, meet with and or write your local, state, and federal elected offices to let them know you care about combating human trafficking and ask what they're doing to address it. Hold your political leaders accountable. Write them, as is mentioned, or meet with them and let them know that you care about human trafficking. Well, I'm sorry, you care about combating human trafficking. We should clarify that, right? Moving on to tip number 6. Be well informed. Set up a web alert to receive current human trafficking news. Also check out CNN's Freedom Project for more stories on different forms of human trafficking around the world. I just checked it out and it's mind-blowing what so many people are dealing with. So again, let's be mindful, right? Moving on to tip number 7. Host an awareness raising event to watch and discuss films about human trafficking. For example, learn how modern slavery still exists today. Watch an investigative documentary about sex trafficking, or discover how forced labor can affect global food supply chains. Alternatively, contact your local library and ask for assistance identifying an appropriate book and ask them to host the event. So yeah, we can get very philanthropic with combating human trafficking. As I said, you can host a awareness raising event to watch films and discuss about human trafficking. Hit up your library, hit up your local politician, maybe they'll come. Moving on to tip number 8. Organize a fundraiser and donate the proceeds to an anti-human trafficking organization. If you look at state.gov, there are a list of anti-trafficking, anti-human trafficking organizations. Also encourage your local schools. Moving on to tip number 9. Also encourage your local schools and school district to include human trafficking in their curriculum and to develop protocols for identifying and reporting a suspected case of human trafficking or responding to a potential victim. Get involved with local schools, libraries, politicians. It's a lot we can do. We're not powerless. Some of us are just lazy. Let's keep moving. So number 10, use your social media platforms. Black America Against Human Trafficking on Facebook. Use your social media platforms to raise awareness about human trafficking using the following hashtags: End Trafficking and Freedom First. Let's keep moving on. Tip number 11. Think about whether your workplace is trauma informed and reach out to the management or human resources team to urge implementation of trauma-informed business practices. Are we well informed about what human trafficking looks like? Right? Let's keep moving on. That's a great tip though for businesses. Let's move on. All right. So become a mentor to a young person or someone in need. I do this all the time. Traffickers often target people who are going through a difficult time or who lack strong support systems. As a mentor, you can be involved in new and positive experiences that the person's life during that person's life during the formative years. Tip number 13. We're almost done, people. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that comment, let people know we're the best place to be. And we talk about serious matters here. But let's keep going. Tip number 13 is learn how human traffickers often target and recruit youth and who to turn to for help in potential dangerous situations. Host community conversations with parent-teacher associations, law enforcement, schools, and community members regarding safeguarding children in your community. So, moving on to tip number 14. This is for youth. All you youth out there, pay attention. All right, youth, learn how to recognize human traffickers and recruitment tactics. Learn how to safely navigate out of suspicious and uncomfortable situations. Even though that this is a grim topic, you can turn this into something fun to do when you're bored. Learn how to identify a threat and how to get out of a unsavory situation, right? A suspicious or uncomfortable situation. Also, learn how to reach out for help at any time. How to be comfortable with your own voice. All right, so on tip number 15, this one is for faith-based communities. Host awareness events and community forums with anti-trafficking leaders or collectively support a local victim service provider. That's what our churches, our faith-based communities can do. So businesses, provide jobs, internships, skill training, and other opportunities to trafficking survivors. Also, take steps to investigate and prevent trafficking in your supply chains by consulting with responsible sourcing tools and supply chain to develop effective management systems and to detect, prevent, and combat human trafficking. College students, what can you do? College students, take action on campus. Join or establish a university club to raise awareness about human trafficking and initiate action through your local community. Consider doing one of your research papers on a topic concerning human trafficking. Request that human trafficking be included in university curriculum. Tip number 18. This is for healthcare providers. Learn how to identify the indicators of human trafficking and assist victims. With assistance from local anti-human trafficking organizations, extend low cost or free services to trafficking victims. Resource from the Department of Health and Human Services can be found on their website. Resources. What can journalists do? Well, hey, that's what we're doing right now. The media plays an enormous role in shaping perceptions and guiding the public conversation about human trafficking. We always will on This Is Spiritual, and always have on Black America Against Human Trafficking. We condemn hypersexualization within the music industry, within the film industry, that shows our brothers, our sisters in such bad shape sexually, and it leads to human trafficking. We can always, like this just says, we play an enormous role in shaping public perceptions. So we have to consider that. We have to remember that, right? So seek out some media best practices on how to effectively and responsibly report stories on human trafficking. And finally, attorneys. Offer human trafficking victims legal services, including support for those seeking benefits or special immigration status. Resources are available for attorneys representing victims of human trafficking. So on This Is Spiritual, today we spoke about 20 ways that we can battle human trafficking, 20 ways we can help join the fight against human trafficking. I hope you guys found at least one or more of those helpful in your personal fight against human trafficking. We look forward to continuing the conversation with you on This Is Spiritual, which is on YouTube, or even on Facebook at Black America Against Human Trafficking. And let's continue this great conversation. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a great time. I look forward to the next episode. Talk to you later. Stay tuned. Hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget where you can find the best educational content for our community and for our people as indigenous and Black and melanated people here on This Is Spiritual. Have a good one.